Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's office hour. Okay, so yeah, before the call, I did check the sheet as usual, and there are no questions. I would really appreciate if everyone tried to make use of the form. Excuse me. If everyone tried to make use of the form instead of having to wait till the office hour before dropping your questions, this is to enable me, prepare. And yeah, this is to enable me prepare for one. And also, I don't know, just keep my head in the right space for the office hour so that I would know what exactly we're going to talk about and whatnot. So going forward, it would be best if we made use of the form. It's on the LMS. Check on the posts. You see the form for office hour. Please try to make use of it going forward. Okay. I did see that people are still rather confused about loops, which is surprising because we did cover loops in the last office hour. It would be nice if you went through, rewatched the office hour from yesterday and try to understand what was talked about. Test out the examples for yourself on that pad. Create examples for yourself as well and just keep practicing. You won't exactly, you won't immediately understand the certain concept until you practice. The more you practice, the more you get used to it, really. No one becomes a knowledgeable programmer in a day. Even in a couple of months, you might still struggle with certain concepts, which is fine. It's all part of the learning process. You just need to be patient with yourself. Practice more. And you could also use the tasks that would be given to you or that have already been published as a way to practice, keep practicing. That's the only way you'd be able to fully grasp these concepts as we go along. Also, yeah, there's something else that I noticed with how everyone so far handled the task on loops. I noticed that most people, going by the submissions that I've graded so far, most people failed to understand the problem. Everyone just, not everyone, rather, most, or some, let me use some. Some people failed to understand the problem and just wanted to dive straight into the solution, which is not advisable. Before you try to solve a problem, you need to first off understand what it is, understand what the problem is about. then you can start to think of a solution. The instructions are, I feel, to a great extent. Maybe a lot of people think otherwise, that the English in the task was confusing, but well, let's just take what's the let's just accept that the English was confusing. Okay, fine. Now, if you're certain that you do not understand the problem that's at hand, the problem that was given to you to solve, the first step should have been to understand the problem, instead of diving into it, doing whatever, and then submitting, and then you come to my DM and you complain about your score, whereas you were not patient enough to understand the problem and then solve it. There's a mobile channel, there's the LMS. You could always leave a question to get, most people who ask questions about the task, I think most of them got clarifications on how to go about it. There's also the issue of submitting an empty Dart pad link. I made the error in one of our office hours. I assumed that all you had to do was copy the link, the URL, and it would automatically take you to your own Dartpad instance, right? It was on the call. We all went through it together and realized that's not how it is. I said at the end of the call that I was going to publish a post on the LMS to help those who thought the same as me to be able to properly generate the right link and then submit the right way. But even after this post was published, some people still submitted an invalid link. So I would like to get your opinion on how this track has been moving so far. What do you think is wrong? Why do you think some people are doing things that are handling the task or whatnot the wrong way? Can I get your thoughts? The whole goal is, as much as we want to teach, I also want to learn to improve how best I handle the track. So let me know, why do you think there are a lot of people who handle the task the wrong way? Is it, I need to hear your opinion so that we could work on it going forward. I'm waiting for comments. Someone said it's lack of patience. Which to some extent, I believe it's true. The deadline for the task isn't until the 8th, which is, I think, on Saturday. And I understand you want to get the task done, move forward, and you want to get the task done, move on to something else. You just want to get to that finish line real quickly. but it takes patience, right? It takes patience to go from ground level to it takes patience to grow, really. So instead of having to rush things through, I would really advise that we all patiently handle things going forward. There is no award waiting for you at week 7 or week 6 when you finish everything in 1 week. There is no award waiting for you right there, or there is no first to finish prize or something. The goal of the program is for everyone to learn and to to learn, really. So it's rushing through is going to defeat that purpose. So I'd really, 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 really strongly advise that we all patiently go through this program. We're in week 2. There's no need flying to week 4 or week 5. Let's just take it 1 week at a time. The resources are there. You could just casually maybe browse through the other resources that are available, but still patiently go through all the resources that are available. If you quickly take in, okay, let me use myself as an example. When I started out my programming journey, I actually started out as a web developer, right? I remember there was this rush, right? There was this internal rush. I wanted to quickly understand things. I wanted to quickly get a job. I wanted to quickly do everything, just get through the whole thing and get to a point where I could start earning money and, start buying we see all the things that people flaunt on social media now. I wanted to get there real quickly. But after a few months, I wanted to quit. Not wanted to. I actually did take a break because I was extremely overwhelmed and I had learned nothing. Maybe I had basic understanding of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but I was way too overwhelmed to grow. I was way too overwhelmed to fully understand the things I was learning. And for that reason, I took a break. I closed my laptop. I started using it to watch movies instead. And I didn't write a line of code for a couple of months until I saw a link to a program on Twitter and I joined the program. I told myself, in this program, I'm starting from scratch. I'm going to join the program as though I have no knowledge. I've never even seen what a HTML tag is. I don't even know what programming is about. I'm going to start this program as a complete beginner, and I'm going to take my time to understand. It wasn't until I told myself that I decided to learn that way. It wasn't until that time that I started to understand this whole programming career. I decided to officially move towards the line of mobile development. It wasn't until I calmed down, told myself, there's no rush. Where am I rushing to? It wasn't until then that things started to make sense. So it's possible that at this point, you're feeling that rush. You're feeling overwhelmed with the goal you've set for yourself. It's very possible that that's the point you're at right now, but still tell yourself to calm down. There is no finish line. If it would take you a year to get to a stable point, then fine. If it take you 2 months, if it take you 6 months, however long it takes, as long as you're patient, you're consistent, and you put in the work, that's enough. Okay. That's enough. So I just thought to chip this in before starting out with anything today, to let those who feel pressured or those who are overwhelmed right now to just calm down, relax, and go through the program. If you have any question, I think to the best of my abilities, I have answered as much questions as possible in the channel. I think I'm also available to a great extent. So if you have any question, if you're stuck, as long as the question has not been answered before, do well to drop your question in the channel, and I'll do my best to guide you the best I can. Okay? All right, let me just quickly go through the comments. Also, if you at any point missed an office hour, it's important. I mean, we cover quite a number of things. Let's say, okay, starting this week, last week we just answered some questions, nothing based on the task or the resources. I think, I can't remember, but if you miss any, try to watch them. Try to watch the videos. If some of you had watched the last office hour, was it the last one or the, I think the office hour on Sunday? If some of you had watched it, you would have known that I was going to publish a post to help you generate the right link from that pad. You would have known not to submit invalid links, and you would have probably gotten your full score instead of 0.5. Simplifying a question or simplifying tasks is tricky. There is a point where you simplify a task and you're literally telling whoever is reading the task the answer, or pretty much giving them the solution to the problem. Another key thing is to be able, I think I already mentioned it at the beginning, is to be able to understand a problem. There are many problems that will be given to you, say when you officially start working with Flutter. There are a lot of problems that will be presented to you that you've never seen before, for example, or you've never heard it, someone just mentioned it. Are you going to tell them to break it down to pieces? Say, for example, you're working with a client and the client tells you, I want to do this, I want to do that. They've explained already, and it still seems like, this client should break it down more now. Nobody has that patience, really. So if a problem seems too confusing for you, you need to do your best personally to try to break it down in a way in which you can understand it. If it seems like you've broken it down and there are still bits inside of the problem that you don't get, then you can ask questions. You'll be able to then tailor your question in a way that you can get possible answers. Not the one where you get a task and then you come to the channel and you're telling everyone, someone should explain the task to you. That's different from saying, say, the task said to display a string when the number gets to 30. Okay, you've understood the other part of the question. Now you're wondering, okay, should I display the string when I get to 30, or should I display the string and add 30 to it? That's a different question. That way someone can come to you and tell you, okay, no, you're supposed to do it this way or that way, and like that. All right. So try to break things down first. And then when a certain bit of your breakdown still doesn't make sense, you'll be able to ask specific questions and then get the right answers. Okay, Abby, that part is not loading on my phone. I haven't tried my laptop yet. Okay, you could try your laptop first. If you also have a substitute network provider, you could try that as well. There are certain providers that do not work with, that you would have troubles loading Flutter sites or Dart sites, including that part. So maybe try to change your network provider if you can, or you could just find a workaround. There are too many classes that people missed some and don't have time to revisit. Well, it's important. I think I said that already. It's important that you try to watch office hours that you've missed, because you don't know what information might be passed. Anything can be discussed during the office hour, and it might be vital. There's no way I would say something during the office hour and then come to Slack again and post it. So it's important that if you miss any of the sessions, try to watch it when you can. I'm still in general elective. Please give us a chance to be in the track we desire. It's best you ask this question in technical help, but maybe tag the relevant parties, because if you can't select a track anymore, then it means that has closed. Okay. Thank you, Safiat. Exactly, Samuel. The main concern for the week right now is whatever has to do with week 2. Yeah, so I wanted to quit. Yeah, I know. These things, it can seem really difficult when you're learning something that you've never learned before. I can understand that, but that's why we have resources. That's why we have office hours. That's why we have Slack. That's why we have the LMS. It's all these provisions have been made to ensure that those who are still confused can clear their confusions. Okay, I've gotten to the end of the comments. All right, so we've concluded the motivational part of today's office hour. If you have questions, now is a good time for you to drop them so that we could quickly go over anything else. I think at this point, the last office hour really covered loops. So the week 2 task is not clear. Please check the mobile Slack channel. We have been talking about this all week. If it's still not clear to you, check the mobile Slack channel, and you'd most likely find your answer there. I can see your question, Samuel. You have to help me here. Is it that have you tried to use have you tried to use for each, or you just want me to cover it from scratch? The assignment is the string. Oh, okay. Someone is explaining. For the task, you're expected to use that pad, not your IDE. You can only see announcements. You can only see those channels because you haven't joined the others. So click on browse channels. You would see all the channels that are available for you to join. Search for mobile and join the channel. You want me to cover it for the benefit of all of us? For each it's pretty much still the same way in which we can sort of iterate through a list or okay. Okay, I hope that's clear, Babala, on what you're supposed to use. For each is what was I saying? For each is a way in which we can loop through a list, just as we showed yesterday. I think to the best of my knowledge, last I checked, the good practice is to use a for in loop instead of a for each. You could on your own Google how that works, but I think as of right now, the best practice is to use a for in loop instead of for each. We already covered that part in previous office hours. Please check your calendar for links to the office hours that you've missed and go through what was talked about. Okay, we would not be covering that right now because we've talked about it before. There are 3 expectations for the task. This is the last time, honestly, I'm going to talk about the week 2 task. There are 3 things you're expected to do according to the question. First is you're expected to use a loop. Second is you're expected to display odd numbers. And third is that you're expected to display the expected string. Alongside, additionally, together with, if it's that particular word that is confusing everyone, alongside, you could replace it with additionally, you could replace it with together with, you could replace it with any other word, but that is what it means, okay? So, papapam, I'm not going to talk about this task anymore. This is the last. Hi, Miriam. If this is the first, if you're in the mobile track, I would advise that you check the LMS for all the resources that have been shared so far, from the introduction to mobile development and the introduction to that. Please go through all the resources if you're in the mobile track. Else, then maybe this office hour isn't for you, because this is the mobile office hour, not front end. Okay, so today is, well, the first thing I had in mind today was obviously to drop some motivational speech. We're supposed to also answer some questions that anyone might have right now, but I see that there are no questions. So I see that there are no questions, so we can actually just call it a day and give everyone the time to carry on with their day, continue with the task. Instead, just I said 3 things, but for some reason, Samuel, you listed just 2. So I'm not going to talk about the task again. Take it back, rewatch, and listen to the requirements that I listed already. Okay, we'll cover more on the DAT cheat sheet tomorrow. We'll cover more of it tomorrow. Let's just give people the chance to watch this office hour and take what was said in. So tomorrow is it tomorrow? Oh no, our next office hour is on Friday. So on Friday we'll continue with what we have. We'll take some parts of that cheat sheet. Okay. So thank you all once again for joining. I'll see you all on Friday. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.